Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, Gary here for Bizarre Brain Comics. I've done several videos in the past about drawing cartoons and comics and illustration and the like. And this time I want to do one about writing comics. And it's not as visual as the drawing aspect. This one, this is the book, How to Write Comic Books by S.A. Bennett. And this book is from 1992, I believe. Yes, 1992 by S.A. Bennett. I don't know much about him. I can't even find very much about him other than what he writes here on the back. It says about the author, S.A. Stephen Allen Bennett. Part of the reason why I think I have difficulty finding anything about him is because there are so many people out there with the same or similar names that they keep coming up. Said he's written comic books professionally for the last 5 years. That was in 92. And among his credits are The Rovers, Werewolf at Large, Shuriken, Jungle, that's Jungle Love, really, and Tracers. He's also the author of A Parent's Guides to Comic Books. And I have heard or seen referenced that he also wrote one about drawing comics. And this is published by Bill Berry Presents, Bill Berry Publishing. And I think Bill Berry drew this cover because he is an artist. And it's just a thin little book. Has some illustrations. It's not bad overall for a beginner. He talks about a little bit of comics history, how in the earliest days especially, the cartoonist was the writer. This is talking comic strips. And then how with the big demand in the later 30s and 40s, demand for product, everything was broken up into different jobs: writer, penciler, inker, colorist, letterists, and stuff like that, which is how we know it a lot today. But of course, in some more recent years, sometimes the artist and writer were often more combined those more than they used to. And it talks about how to write a story. It talks a little bit about stories in general, what composes the story, the three parts, the beginning, middle, and end, or the first, second, and third acts of a story. What else? Yeah, history. Here it shows something about his book that he did on the Rovers. Actually, I don't think I've ever read any of these comics, and I recently acquired one issue of the Rovers, which I'll probably be covering by itself in the near future. He's got some sample. Tells how. First of all, just how to tell a story. What is a story? The plotting. That's plot, not plod. How to plot a story. Then has some examples of script writing. He talks about the methods of writing, like the so-called Marvel method and the full script method. And he prefers the full script. Some publishers use either or both. As a full script with which describes each panel, the characters, what's going on, who says what. It's just that, a script, just as it would, very similar to what it would be for a play or a screenplay. But, except, of course, it's broken down into individual panels, which then the artist can also sometimes... here's just some Bill Berry's art, which then the artist can sometimes do variations on. So yeah, it talks a little bit about the lettering, meanwhile, and captions, dialogue balloons, collaborations, and here's a sample of both a page of script and then the finished art for that goes along with that page of script. Another one. It shows how sometimes it changes a bit. Yeah. And here it shows pencils. Hey, that's interesting. Yeah. And this is some nice artwork. I noticed it has some decent artwork in the Rovers, but I don't know so much about how his writing is, other than what I've read here in these pages. And it seems straightforward, and it's not a bad little book. From what I understand, it is a rare book. So, but he went to college. I think it was an English major, learning how to write. So it's just more or less a more comprehensive lesson on writing that one might get in at a college or university. Just some bare facts and examples. It's not bad. Now, the biggest criticism I have with this particular book is, I don't know how much of it was the author's fault and how much might have been with the typesetting or what have you, but it really could have used some better proofreading, because sometimes words are run together, and a few other little mistakes like that, and there's a big problem for me is they use a for an all the time. It'd say like a example rather than an example, and as far as the information for the story writing itself, seems pretty decent. It just seems that there were some production problems somewhere along the way of that nature, which is real distracting, especially when you're reading about writing. Okay, and that's what I've got for this time. How to Write Comics by S.A. Bennett. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. And remember, comics are art.